Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for my entryway makeover video. I have been working on this for what feels like forever, and I'm so excited the day has finally come to share this with you all. In this video, I'm creating my dream entryway. I have no coat closet in my apartment, so storage has been a challenge, but I finally found a beautiful renter-friendly solution. I will be cleaning the entire area out and completely making it over with a DIY bench, a DIY shelf with hooks, and an absolutely stunning piece of furniture that inspired this whole project, and I'll be decorating as well. So be sure to stick around until the end of the video to see the before and afters because it is a complete transformation, and I am so proud of what I was able to do with this space.
You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high.
As you can see here, my entryway was not at all inviting and was just full of clutter. I knew that I needed more storage than the white table that I already had, so the first thing that I did was sell that on Facebook Marketplace. This makeover ended up being super budget friendly because I did this, and I was able to just reinvest that money back into the project to purchase some decorative items and buy the supplies needed for my DIY bench and shelves. But once that table was gone, I got to work completely cleaning out the space.
We get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down.
Since I live in an apartment, painting is not an option. I also don't really want to spend money on peel and stick wallpaper that I will have to tear down when I leave anyway. So I really focused on my decor for this makeover as well as function. Just because you rent does not mean you can't make a space your own. You just have to be creative and very intentional. I found a beautiful sideboard from Article, which you will see here in a little bit, and I based my entire project around this piece. And I'll show you how I did that and my planning process later on in this video.
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel.
The walls in my apartment, you could honestly just look at them and they will scuff up. The paint quality is just not that good, and I feel like it's like that in pretty much all commercial buildings, so it really doesn't surprise me. But I was not expecting the magic eraser to work as well as it did. I got every single scuff off of the walls, and the difference was amazing at the end of this.
Break me, lay my troubles to rest, blow the smoke through my cigarette. City lights looking fine.
The magic eraser did shred up quite a bit as I was scrubbing the walls, which is to be expected when you are really going at it, trying to get a bunch of scuffs off. So I just vacuumed those up really quickly, and then finally I'm just going to steam mop the area so that it is completely fresh and ready for my makeover.
I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me. No, no, nothing can break me.
Okay, so it is the next day. The most exciting delivery just got here. This is going to be like the focal point for this entire entryway project. So I'm going to work on opening this up and doing any assembly that's required. The delivery guys were really awesome, and they carried this in for me and put it right here. So hopefully I can just get this out on my own and set up. I'm so excited to see how it looks. Wow, that was a really good jump. I kind of feel like Superwoman because I was able to get this sideboard completely out of the packaging and set up all by myself. This stunning piece was sent to me by Article, who I have partnered with for this video. I had my eye on it for quite some time and I knew it would be just the perfect thing for my entryway. It's got so much storage space. It's incredible quality, real wood with brass metal legs. It's honestly the most beautiful piece of furniture I have ever owned. I love the three-dimensional detail and it just totally transformed my entryway. I honestly just want to sit over there and stare at this thing because I love it so much. And I just love Article so much as a company and their products. I have also purchased my couch from Article and I have to say their customer service is top notch. They provide contactless delivery, their delivery process is incredibly easy and painless, and not to mention the furniture is such great quality at a great price, and it's all designed to last. I am going to have a link to Article's website in my description box below if you would like to go check out some of their products, if you're in the market for some really high quality but great priced furniture. I would highly, highly recommend them. I've had such great experiences both as a customer purchasing my couch from them and then also partnering with them. Be sure you stay tuned to later on in the video to see how I styled this beautiful cabinet and the way that I organized it inside. The rug that I purchased to go underneath this cabinet was from Ruggable. I've never purchased a rug from them before, but I was really intrigued by the fact that they are machine washable. So you actually get a rug pad that you adhere to your rug cover and you can remove it and throw it right into the washing machine. And I thought that was amazing because I have a huge area rug in my living room that is just extremely difficult to clean, and the idea of having a machine washable rug I thought was like the coolest thing ever. Okay, I finally have it all assembled and I have my new rug out that I got from Ruggable. I love them together, but it's not fully even because trying to lift this thing by myself and move a rug with a gripping pad under it is literally impossible. I'm actually amazed I even got it as close to being right as I did, but it still needs a little bit more work. But I'm going to start putting some things in here. I'm so excited. I can't wait. My dad is just the best and he agreed to help me with my DIY projects. I had so much fun working with him in the garage on these projects, and they're just that much more special to me because we did it together. The first thing that we did was build a DIY bench. This bench was inspired by my friend Megan, who I'm sure you all know as Loving Life as Megan over here on YouTube. She did a DIY home office makeover in collaboration with another one of my favorite YouTubers, Whitney P, and they created a beautiful bench for her office, and I knew I had to find a space for something similar, and my entryway felt like the perfect spot. This was so simple to make and turned out better than I could have imagined. To make this bench, we just purchased a 2x4x8, a 2x8x8, and 2.5-inch construction screws. We cut the 2x8 in half, so we had 2 equal pieces, and then we cut the 2x4 into 4 pieces that were 15.5 inches long and 4 pieces that were 8 inches long. And then we just assembled these boxes using the smaller pieces. Those would be the legs of the bench. We centered them on the bench, making sure there was a 1 3/4 inch overhang on each side. And it was just that simple. And it turned out beautiful.
I remember how we started to realize from my supply strange motions like a shift in the flow, a change coming.
The next project that we worked on was making this shelf with hooks. I do not have a coat closet, as I mentioned before, so storage is pretty difficult, and as it is right now, I'm just storing all of our jackets in our closets, and that's not really convenient when you're trying to run out the door. So I saw this shelf on Pinterest and I thought it looked perfect, so I recreated it, and I'm going to link that blog where I saw this shelf below so you can try to make this yourself.
In the sunrise, we can flee the night. Flee the night.
Something else that I wanted to do was to paint my litter box cabinet white. Not the most glamorous thing in the world, but this is real life and I have a cat, so I need a litter box. And the only place, unfortunately, that I can store it is in my entryway, but if it was white, I figured it would blend in a little bit more and it wouldn't be quite as much of an eyesore. So I rinsed the litter box cabinet out really good, left it in the sun to dry, and while I was waiting for it to dry, I just moved on to painting my shelf.
Like a shift in the flow, a change coming, it's inevitable. In a paradise.
I honestly did not do much prep work to this cabinet before I started painting it, and it turned out perfectly fine. I probably could have spent more time sanding or something like that, but this thing was a hand-me-down. I didn't even buy it new. It was completely free, so I honestly was not super concerned about it being perfect. And for as little prep work as I put into it, after a couple of coats of paint, it looked just fine. So this was it after one coat, and then I'm going to show you it when it was all done. And it looks great in my opinion. I think that for what it was, it turned out perfectly fine.
We could flee the night.
The next thing that I'm doing is just staining my bench, and it was kind of funny because my dad has been in construction forever and he's never seen somebody stain a bench using two colors. So the two colors that I used were, I believe, early American, and then I think it was just like a traditional gray color, but I will have the stains that I used in my description box below if you want to recreate this same exact stain color at home. Here is the finished bench. I can't even begin to tell you guys how obsessed with this thing that I am. I'm so glad that we did it. And then finally, we just needed to attach the hooks for my shelf. I got these hooks on Amazon, so I will have these linked in my storefront if you are interested in purchasing them for your projects. Finally, we arrived home and it was time for me to start kind of putting things together. So I just quickly cleaned up because obviously my cat's litter box had been sitting out all day and he of course got litter everywhere. So I cleaned that up. I got his litter box situated inside of the cabinet, and then I started to carry in everything else. So the bench and also the shelf, so I could get that hung up. My dad made it so easy for me to hang this thing up. He made me a French cleat using the extra wood that we had. So basically I could just hang this piece of wood up on the wall in my apartment, and then the shelf would actually just kind of insert itself into it. And it was perfect. It made hanging the shelf incredibly easy for me, and it was flat against the wall, which is what I wanted. So now we are going to focus on organizing the inside of this beautiful cabinet from Article. This is all of the storage space that I have for a coat closet now, and I'm so beyond excited to have this because, as you could see before, my entryway was a total disaster and there was no room to put anything. So I can't even tell you guys how good it feels to finally have this storage space and have everything organized where I want it to be. I just grabbed a couple of bins that I already had in my apartment and I started filling them up. So one of them I used for things like hats and gloves in the winter time. Another bin I filled up with bug spray and sunscreen, things that I would just need to grab on my way out the door that I probably don't want to forget And then I ended up using the wooden bin to store Carson's shoes because he's got such little feet and it just keeps them easily accessible in a bin instead of thrown around inside of the cabinet.
I would be up waiting for you if you had to leave. I would wait a lifetime if you were at sea. I just wanna say that I feel that our love is real.
It took me a couple of times just kind of rearranging things, but I feel really good about the way that things ended up. I also stored Carson's helmet in there so that when we go out to ride his bike, that's right there where we need it. I stored my diaper bag in there, also his daycare bag, and my purse that I would bring to work. So everything is right there, easy for me to grab when we were headed out the door.
I just wanna hold you for forever. Every day you're making me better. 'Cause a love like this is rare. And I wanna take you there.
When I was designing what I wanted to do for this space, I actually used Canva, which is a website if you've never heard of it before, and I used their background remover tool to kind of put things where I wanted, see how it all looked, figure out what colors looked good together, and I would highly recommend this method of decorating if you are someone like me who really struggles to figure out what looks good together. I am just really bad at going to a store or shopping online and just kind of guessing what would look good and them coming in and me being pretty disappointed. So I tried to be extremely meticulous about this process and really making sure that things look good together by designing a little template for myself in Canva. And I'm going to put that design right here on the screen so you can see what I mean, and then you can watch it come to life.
'Cause a love like this is rare. And I wanna take you there. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you.
This mirror is from Target. It was from the Hearth and Hand collection. I had originally been looking at a threshold mirror that was actually a little bit more expensive and had more of a brass finish, but it came in shattered when it arrived at my apartment, so I ended up going to the store and returning it, and they didn't have that one in stock, so I purchased the Hearth and Hand one, and I love it, and it was a little bit cheaper, which was really surprising. The lamp I also purchased from Target, and the bins that you see here were from IKEA. I use these bins for things like face masks that we now need to grab every single time we leave, and also my keys. I have not decided what's going in the little tiny bin yet, but for now it is there for decorative purposes. And the two vases that I threw onto this cabinet were from West Elm, and they were actually free. I used rewards points from purchasing my furniture with them, and I got them completely for free, and I love them. They're super high quality and really cute, and they look perfect in this space. I've had them for a while and they've been sitting on a tray on my kitchen table, but they look a million times better on this cabinet. Anything that I can link for you guys, I will make sure to link in my description box below if you are looking for any of these items for your space.
It's the same old story being told inside my head. I'm too shy to straighten up my bones and be a man. I gotta tear this wall up.
And now finally, it is time for the big reveal. So one more time, I'm going to remind you what my entryway looked like before so you can really get the full effect of what a complete transformation this makeover was. So here's my entryway after. I am so in love with it. I honestly can't believe that I actually did this because, as I was saying before, I just do not have an eye for this stuff, and I'm so proud of myself for how this turned out. It's functional, it's pretty, it's easy on the eyes, and it's so welcoming when I first walk in the door at the end of a long day. Like I said, I'm going to have any items linked in the description box below if you guys are interested in checking them out, but actually I DIY'd quite a few of them, like the welcome sign and also the paintings. I painted both of them myself. But that is the end of this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you are new here. Make sure you follow me over on Instagram. I like to share some sneak peeks sometimes of these things as I'm working on them. And of course, just share more of my day-to-day life. But thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video.
Days pass and I'm still the same inside my head, and I can't stop thinking about